Yeah, I'm gonna rant for a minute here, but like, I like this game enough that I'm gonna continue to play it. Am I gonna say Blizzard is a good company? No. Do I get why they need to do that business wise from specifically the Overwatch team's perspective? Yeah, because Blizzard or somebody higher up than them, probably, maybe it's Aaron, that like made this decision or something. Maybe it's somebody above him that's like, hey, you only have this much budget. But it seems like the answer to them being able to do PvE and it not take 6 years of abandoning this game seems like they need more people, basically. Which they are a big company, like Blizzard, Activision, Microsoft, like all of them are big enough to do that. But I'm sure it's a business decision of like, we don't know how good it's gonna be. You know, Overwatch 1/2 is already doing good, so why are we wasting money on this thing for the past 2 years? That's gonna take another 6 years that we expect to do good, but we don't know that. And hiring a whole separate team, because they were even referring to it as like a separate game entirely. So it's like, that's a lot of people you would have to hire on. Do I wish that they would just slowly roll it out, like seasonal, like, okay, here's the next mission of PvE and the next mission and the next mission of like the actual campaign? I think that would be better, but I could understand why business wise they might think that that's too slow of a burn for the payoff kind of a deal. But I don't like it. I hate it. It sucks. Like, especially all the overpromising. Like, this is why companies don't really announce stuff until they're pretty close to releasing. Because, yeah, like when you get to the meat of developing, that's when you kind of figure out, okay, this is what we still need to do. This is how long it's taken to get the back end of stuff going. Now we just have to churn out content, but this is the best way we could churn out content, and it's going to take this long to do it. I can respect their want to experiment with that, and I can there's a lot of projects you never hear about that get scrapped, but it should have stayed that a project we never heard about and that they didn't put all their eggs in one basket in, which sucks. At least that's how I think about it. Update some graphics and add a new heroes. Yeah, exactly. Like, the whole point was a PvE, and they have to majorly backpedal. I would have preferred if they backpedaled way before Overwatch 2 was released and just said, sorry, we can't do that. We're going to go back to actually developing Overwatch 1 again. I don't know if they would have still done 5v5 in that state. As far as engine upgrades, it sounds like most of that was for Overwatch 2 PvE, so maybe they could have still stayed on the same engine, or maybe they could have just upgraded stuff without needing to upgrade the engine, have a totally separate game. Yeah, I don't know. I wish they just stayed with the original game, basically. I would have preferred that. I would have preferred just, sorry, we're not doing that, but we're keeping the old game. So at this point, there was no reason to make Overwatch 2. Exactly, yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, I would have preferred that when they realized nearly a year ago, they said, I forget the exact wording, but it sounded like nearing the release of Overwatch 2 is when they realized, oh, this is going to take a long time. I don't know if that's just corporate red tape that was deciding, like, okay, we have to really think about this, about pulling the plug before we release our game. We're about to release our game, but what do we do? Well, I don't know. We gotta talk to literally everybody and run stats about this and
I'm playing
all that
so
stuff.
bad.
Yeah, with Overwatch, they definitely just should have. Like I said, I respect them trying to go for something. I mean, that makes a lot of big games. I mean, think about Fortnite. Siegel pointed out that Fortnite's the opposite. It was PvE and really small, and then switched to PvP, which fucking blew up the entire genre of Battle Royale. So, like, I can respect trying to do stuff, but it's a huge fucking letdown when you realize, oh, we can't make this game unless we literally make the first game not just completely stable. Like, they should have realized that we need to upkeep this live experience at least for long enough to figure out how long we need to make this game. I mean, Overwatch 2, like, they delayed it. They delayed it by, like, a year before they finally... or was it, like, 2 years or something? It was some fucking long amount of time. And they had, like, playtests and everything like that. They made it seem so much like it was almost out there. But it just wasn't even close, and that's kind of dumb. I don't know if they could have done a better way to announce it, but... I think I would have preferred that they just didn't announce it and that we just never knew that they were even trying to do it. And if they slow down development of Overwatch 1, not completely cut it out. I don't think I'm hopeful for the future of Overwatch 2 for PvP type stuff. granted, it hasn't been too bad, but it hasn't been what I'm waiting for, I guess. It's obviously not the PvE that we're gonna get. We are getting a PvP or a PvE, but it's not what we're looking for. I guess that means they're gonna focus their resources to this game now, if they haven't already been doing that, which it sounds like they have been already doing that. So I don't know, maybe we'll get better stuff for Overwatch 2 PvP. Maybe the PvE is still gonna be fun, if not as fun as we expected, but at least it's not being wasted on a thing we're never going to see anymore. I suppose we're gonna see something out of it, I hope, but not much hope. And I'm usually a hopeful guy too. I usually stand up to bat for people that are like, you know, underdog kind of deals. Not so much companies, but like people that work within those companies, at least enough to understand what they're doing. That's usually why I preach understanding, at least, even if you completely disagree, understand why something happened. But yeah.